Hi friends, welcome back. So I want to have a chat with you about how to ensure success for yourself and also to talk about general rules of investing. Now, I know there's a lot of channels out there to say, hey, buy my trade alerts and you're going to be golden, or hey, buy my class and I will teach you the psychology of money, these kind of things. Frankly, it's all a scam. And my advice to you guys is whatever money that you want to give whatever YouTuber for classes or whatever trade alerts, that kind of stuff, take that money, put it into something safe like an index fund or something that is the S&P 500. If you want to be a little bit more aggressive, go with like the Qs. That'd be essentially betting on big tech, these kind of things. This essentially is a surefire way to find success. Now I know it's not exciting. I get that. I know that everyone's looking for the next Tesla, the next Amazon, these kind of things. The problem with sort of the mentality that we have out there on YouTube is people are treating this like trying to find the lottery, right? You're trying to find that winning number, that winning tickets. One of the things that I try my best with you guys is to be honest with you and help you navigate things, because what's frustrating to me, I think there's a couple things. So one is when people say if something's gone up 1,000% or whatever X percent, they'll say, oh, it's still early. Oh, it's still early. And I just find that really, really ludicrous. So I point that stuff out all the time. Because sometimes people say, Chris, why do you point out certain things, be it your Teslas and videos and stuff like that? It's to counter all the stuff that you hear on YouTube. It just frustrates me, and so I have to make a video about it. The other thing too is I'm also honest with you. Yes, there are going to be a few winners out there that are maybe going to go to the moon someday, that kind of thing. But understand the odds could be 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000, something like that. There's just not that many companies that are going to turn into Apple. There's just not that many companies that are going to turn into Microsoft. When you understand that the odds are really, really slim, it kind of changes the perspective. I give you an example. So, and this is just how it is. Whenever you buy a lottery ticket, like there's that moment where you're starting to scratch off the numbers, that kind of thing. Like there's just that little bit of hope that you're going to hit gold, that you're going to hit jackpot, right? That you're going to hit the Powerball. I understand, right? And after you've done this enough times and you obviously haven't won the Powerball, because very few people do win said thing, you realize it's a little bit of futility, and essentially you're just kind of throwing your money away. I have a friend, it's kind of funny, he always refers to the lottery as being like the idiot tax, and essentially a tax on idiots. And unfortunately, I feel like much of YouTube is like that, with many people out there just trying to sell you trade alerts, trying to sell you classes and saying, hey, I have the secrets. Here's the deal, guys. If someone really has like the secrets to, understanding exactly when the bottom is of something, understanding exactly when the top of something is, they're not going to share it with you for, $10 a month or $20 a month or whatever, or even $1,000 for a 2-year class. They're not sharing it. If it's a secret that really works, they're not sharing it. There are people out there, guys, who are really good at this stuff, right? So it's true. The whole Michael Burry thing, who shorted the housing market, right, back in the financial crisis. He saw it in the numbers, he did his research, right? But he wasn't necessarily broadcasting out there, hey everyone, I have the secret and I'm going to sell you a class to how to short the housing market at just the right time. It doesn't work that way. So I guess rule number one would be anything that you hear on YouTube promise you something, take it with a grain of salt and honestly don't believe it. Most people ask me, they say, hey Chris, what do you think about X YouTuber doing this options thing, or hey Chris, what do you think about this X YouTuber doing crypto? Generally, I don't like any of these people, and I have to make these kind of videos from time to time just to reiterate that, and just hopefully, how can I say, help you find guaranteed success. One of the things is, guys, if you work hard and you have a good job and you're smart with your money, put the bulk of your money, or okay, because sometimes I want to take a little bit more risk in those. Let's call it 70% of your money, right? I'm just giving you a number. If you want to put like all of it, you can, but a high percentage of your money in something that is guaranteed to not go to zero and guaranteed not to go bust. I think that's the problem. And when you're new to the market, you kind of want that hot stock. And depending on your level of experience, if you've never experienced, for example, and this happens in markets, situation where like the accounting is fraudulent. And I tell you guys, in the dot-com bubble, that happened to me. There's a company I was looking at, and I always mention this one. It was like a fintech company. It started with the letter A. I don't remember the name of the thing, and it turned out that their accounting was all fraudulent. Like it was just a fraud company, and basically I lost all my money on said thing. A good thing for me though is that one of my early experiences in the market was figuring that out early, that some of these are people out there are bad actors. One of the worst things that can happen to someone when you first get into the market is to only experience winning and only experience that things go up, because then you kind of get overconfident and you just think, oh well, if I won on this other couple of things, or if I saw anything and everything just seemed to go up like crazy, you think that it's so easy, right? And that what's that Buffett guy buying AT&T, or what's that Buffett guy buying Apple, or Bank of America, he buys that kind of stuff, or buying insurance. I think he just bought Chubb recently, right? And insurance is not sexy, right? It's not. But he buys things that have good balance sheets, meaning that these are the type of companies that have a steady stream of revenue. They have a steady flow of customers or consumers that buy their products, depend on their products, and essentially are good all-weather stocks. And he looks for ones like that that are undervalued. I think the other thing that's frustrating, so one would be, if any YouTubers out there is always trying to sell you a trailer or something like that, just ignore it. The other one that frustrates me, and I try to point out so much, is there's a lot of people out there on YouTube that just frankly give you misinformation. So a big one for me is like, hey guys, if someone's pumping you whatever company, and you've done what you feel is your research or whatever, and I come out and I literally show you numbers and say, hey guys, it looks like this company is losing money, and I just want to be clear that you understand they're losing money. And sometimes I'll turn to other channels, and either one, they don't mention that the company's losing money, or two, they outright lie to you and give you like false numbers, and that stuff really bothers me. So we talk about so many things on this channel, is understand the macro environment. So if we're in an environment where it's really expensive to borrow money, just for example, and there's companies out there that in order to grow, they got to spend, right? You got to spend money to make money, but they're in no situation to do that, right? And also too, if money is expensive to borrow, it's harder for consumers to buy their goods, right? Because they have to borrow money also. These are the kind of reasons why we track the macro, because companies are not isolated. I think one of the things that frustrates me is sometimes there's so many channels out there that talk about stocks and only just look at a chart and don't look at anything else. And if you want to be good at this stuff, and for many people, they say, hey Chris, I just want to learn. That's why I try to help you on the channel. You want to look at everything that the company does. So keep up on the news in the company if you're interested in that kind of stuff. You actually want to look at the numbers, learn to read a balance sheet, look at the fundamentals, these kind of things, right? I look at numbers with you guys on the channel. Sometimes I just show you grades. It's kind of an easy way to take a look at that. Last thing you want to be taking a look at it in comparison to other companies of its peer group. This is always a good way to compare, because then you get a general sense of what the market thinks about that particular industry. There's a lot of things that we can talk about with any of these types of things, but overall though, I just want to go back to that original point, is the bulk of your money is going to be in something like an index fund or some sort of fund where you're putting your things essentially a basket, and essentially not all of your eggs go into one basket, but a basket that's in terms of going into a basket that contains multiple things in there, right? Diversification. I know lately it felt like diversification is kind of silly because Nvidia is just going to the moon. But that's going to be short-lived. It's not going to be like that forever. There's this no way that a particular market can run on one particular story. In this case, AI forever. It's just unhealthy. And essentially, I think the bubbles are starting to pop, or the breaks in the armor are starting to show, right? Starting to crack essentially, because we just saw Nvidia fall back. Was it like 13-15% this past week? So I don't know. I just want to have a chat with you guys about these things, and sometimes I just want to come out and just kind of reiterate sort of knowledge that reinforce you. You may already know this stuff, but it's always good to hear it again, and also to be part of a community who believes in these kind of things. So we're continue to always be tracking the market, kind of understand what's going on, and also to encourage you to invest safely, wisely, and grow your wealth. So do appreciate your time, everyone, and I'll catch you on the next video.